hardly blame them. Our collective science was simply not advanced enough to even hint at the answers, and come what may, the show of life must go on. In our probing of reality, we will have no choice but to use some concepts and results from the current leading edges of science. If some of the terms used may on occasion seem overly specialized or arcane, don't let it discourage you. Einstein, Nicolas Boileau, David Hilbert, and many others have made the point that reality is so consistent and ultimately straightforward that it is fully understandable by all, irrespective of individual education backgrounds. You may have to become acquainted or reacquainted with some of the concepts and occasional vocabulary used in this book, but should you lose the thread, the fault would not be yours, but entirely mine. The first 3 chapters examine some of the thorniest scientific issues we have to face when we try to tease out what fundamental reality may be, and also looks at the tools we have at our disposal to do so. Inevitably, some passages will be a bit technical, because it is essential that a comprehensive, well-buttressed case be made towards the definite and rather surprising conclusion that we'll reach in Chapter 6. Don't let it faze you. On the few occasions when some passage may wax overly intricate, feel free to simply become acquainted with its conclusions in the first instance, as this will not impair your ability to follow the thrust of the overall argument and conclusions. Chapter 4 looks back at how our reality began billions of years ago, and Chapter 5 looks at the ways some reported instances of reality, deemed by some to be scientifically impossible, nevertheless keep insistently intruding into our world reality. As President Obama once put it, reality has a way of imposing itself, and any theory that would simply ignore some of its aspects repeatedly observed by many would be necessarily incomplete, and hence not credible. By the end of this chapter, the stage has been sufficiently set, and we are at last ready to delve into what the cosmologist Alexander Vilenkin dubbed the abyss, the ultimate mystery of why there is existence at all, and finally explore, and indeed discover in Chapter 5, what this ultimately extraordinary reality we are a part of is. The rest of the book looks first at possible objections, and analyzes how such can be understood and, in some as yet unsettled cases, tested in the framework of the thesis put forward in Chapter 6. Some of the new questions that inevitably arise are then raised, and hopefully workable answers are found. A few ideas, or perhaps better said wishes, as to how we could use and weave this new view of reality into the fabric of society to build a better world, more aligned with its deeper reality, are then broached. 1. A question of ultimate origins. The question of why there is something rather than nothing, of who we are and what we are doing here, has preoccupied humankind since time immemorial. Thanks to scientific progress, we have been able to steadily push back ever more the question's envelope, but consensus on what the science ultimately means remains elusive, and for all the sound and fury of debates in different scientific disciplines, and beyond them in other walks of life, the bottom line is that we have been unable to answer the question of ultimate origin, let alone meaning, with any degree of certainty or consensus. Physics has become, in our modern era of attempted objective knowledge, the go-to science of what makes nature tick, of what is, perhaps, possible, and what is not, and thence of ultimate origins. Many physicists hailing from different areas of specialization, particle physicists, cosmologists, and others, have attempted to come to grips with ultimate origins, to begin with, by starting from what is rock-bottom definitely there, plain to see and incontrovertible, to wit, the fact that our universe exists. Never mind, for the time being at least, that there might be other universes out there, or that our own universe may in fact be far more complex.